Warning. This episode contains strong language, graphic depictions of violence and death that may be disturbing for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, you true crime freaks and geeks. This is Shelly.
My name is Brandon.
This is Gene.
And you're listening to A Beer.
A crime
And a tale.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love it. All right. How's everybody's day going?
Well, considering the state of Illinois has no bond anymore and everyone just thinks they can steal like a bunch of fucking bitches, great.
Okay.
Well, someone has some emotions tonight.
I probably should have told her to stay home.
It's just making my day very long. So
it is a late night right now.
So for those of you who do not live in Illinois, the governor has decided that it would be a no bond state. So if you are arrested for shoplifting, then you just automatically get a ticket and don't go to jail. Which is fine, but that seems to make people who prefer to steal think that it means they can just have a free-for-all.
Wow.
I don't think they understand the concept of a warrant, because that means you go to jail and you don't get your stupid ticket. So it is what it is.
That is true.
Public service announcement over here in the loss prevention world.
Oh, I don't miss those. I do miss those days, but at the same time, I don't.
Yeah.
Because it was a big headache.
It's a lot of paperwork. It is a big headache. But it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Oh, and
we'll
we'll do a sit down episode where we go over our AP experiences and tell stories like that. We all three used to work in loss prevention, and that was one of the things that we did. So it was a pretty crazy lifestyle, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, I'm still living it. I like it.
It had its moments.
It was. Oh, it did.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did. No, so I'm excited for that one. But today, Gene has a episode for us.
Yes, I do.
I am so excited for this episode.
So today, I'm going to learn y'all a little bit about the Lochness Monster.
I'm so excited.
Wait, before we get started, what's the word of the drinking word of the episode?
The drinking word of the episode is going to be monster.
Just monster in general?
Yeah.
Or any
just
type?
monster.
Okay.
The word monster.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are drinking to this episode, if you hear the word monster, take a drink. If we mess up our words, take another drink. If we butcher a name, that's a third drink.
If you're
drink
driving,
responsibly. Don't
grab a water.
Yeah. Stay hydrated.
There you go. All right, we're ready. Let's learn all about this monster.
All right. So the Loch Ness Monster, commonly known as Nessy,
I love him.
Nessy.
a Scottish creature in folklore, is said to inhabit Loch Ness, the second largest Scottish loch, but due to its depth and the volume, it is the largest in the British Isles.
So where's the lake at?
The
Scotland.
loch? It's in Scotland.
Okay, Scotland. I didn't know actually where it was at.
It's in Scotland.
Do you know where Scotland is?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah,
I
mean, I
next
can't,
to Oregon.
I can't be like, yeah, it's right fucking here. But like, I know.
It's
I've
like the
looked at a
northern
map before.
part of the British Isles.
Yeah. So I personally, I don't believe in Loch Ness. So you guys are going to have to try to convince me.
That's because you're blind and
I'm not
stuff.
blind. I
Yeah.
just don't believe in
You're
some
blind.
of the stuff out there. But go ahead.
So the common descriptions of Nessy is large, long neck, one or more humps protruding out of the water. Most of the scientific explanations for these types of sightings are hoaxes or misidentification of common animals and things like that, such as eels or elephants.
an eel.
The eels are pretty fucking small.
I was going to say, I can't imagine an eel being as big as like these pictures.
Oh, some of the pictures are like, they look like there was an eel put in like a fucking
What,
tub.
a cup of water?
A tub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then they zoomed in on the photo.
Got it.
But yeah.
All right. The earliest sightings of Nessy was in 6th century AD by the Irish monk Saint Columba.
God dang.
He was standing near the mouth of the river Ness. After hearing the creature, Columba had sent out a few of his companions to test the river.
Wait a minute, time out. Was it like making like a noise, like caw or something?
I assume it
or
did,
was it
didn't-
like the sound of it splashing?
I could not find an
That's
actual
too bad. Okay.
wording of what he had heard. This is just a few years ago in 6th century AD, so
Just a few
it
years
could have
ago.
just been misconstrued a little.
Just a tiny bit ago. Got it. Okay.
So upon having them go, he went and he observed the creature. He seen it, and he had pulled out a cross and banished the creature to Loch Ness.
I love
Begone, begone, beast.
I love that he did that. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I
if
mean-
you have any issues, just pull out a cross and just banish
I'm gonna
it.
just start banishing beasts.
If you're an
or
Irish,
I'm
monsters.
gonna try it with my
That's a joke.
shoplifters too. Just hold up a cross. Be gone.
if you're an
They will
Irish
run.
monk, I mean, what would your reaction be to seeing a giant creature?
I mean, I guess that's actually a very valid reaction if I was a monk, or nun, because I'm a girl. Right? Isn't that how it worked?
Sure.
I'm not.
Monks and
I don't know.
nuns.
I didn't research that this week.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
In 1871 or 1872, there wasn't a whole lot of description on that. D. Mackenzie had reported seeing an object that resembled a log or an upturned boat, wriggling and churning up the water. This object moved slowly at first, and then it disappeared at a faster speed.
Oh.
This record wasn't published until 1934, when Mackenzie sent his story to Rupert Gold.
Okay.
Okay. I bet it was a UFO.
So,
What?
But go ahead. Go ahead.
oh my
So there's
word.
just a UFO just like decides to land there and like swim around like a big fish.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
You should drink just for that.
I will.
I second that.
Okay, let's. Now, who was Rupert Gold? Was that like a journalist or something?
I assume it was some type of a journalist or
Okay.
or someone who worked somewhere around there, because it didn't specify on the information that I was reading through.
Got it. That kind of makes sense. I figure it'd be a journalist or like
Yeah.
somebody that was a writer or something.
For Loch Ness.
In 1888, Mason Alexander MacDonald sighted a large, stubby-legged animal surfacing from the loch and propelling itself within 50 yards of the shore where he was. MacDonald reported the sighting to Loch Ness water bailiff Alex Campbell. A water bailiff is kind of like what the
Like conservation police.
NCR
Yeah,
are
got it.
now.
Gotcha.
They had water bailiffs all the way back in the 1800s.
Like Coast Guards.
I mean, yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
1800s?
I thought that's
Yes,
what he said.
1888.
What do they fucking row out in a boat?
Yeah, they've had boats for a very long time.
A
Very,
very,
like-
very long time.
They've had boats for like thousands of years.
Hey, matey.
So this creature that was observed was described to be seen as looking something like a salamander.
Oh, cool.
But a big ass salamander.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
because
mean,
it's hanging out in the lock.
What if it was just like an actual salamander? Just like a little bitty guy.
And I mean, okay.
Just trying to find it.
all right. And then 1933, the best known article that first attracted a great deal of attention about the monster was published on May 2nd of 1933. It was described as a large beast or whale-like fish. The article by Alex Campbell, water bailiff for Loch Ness, and a part-time journalist. The sighting was described as an enormous creature with the body like a whale, rolling around and plunging itself for about a full minute.
Jeez.
Soon, however, it disappeared in a boiling mass of foam.
What?
Yep. So I don't quite know what that means.
You know what it makes
But,
me think of?
Yeah, what?
Like, you know when you're a kid and you do the log roll really, really fast?
Like you tuck your knees and
Like in the water?
you use your arms and do the roll. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's making me think of. But then it would be like a fluffy kid like me rolling really fast until that created foam.
So
I'm
a
just
whale-like creature rolling around for a minute straight, disappearing with foam,
Yeah.
like a foamy substance. No, it was an alligator doing the death roll after
It was an
getting a
alligator
catch.
doing the death roll, huh?
Yeah, in
I
Scotland.
don't think an alligator could even remotely survive in those temperatures because they're reptiles.
I mean, they've been alive for years upon years, so I mean, they're bound to do something. I mean, they can survive. They'll find a way.
In warmer climates, it's Scotland.
Yeah, but okay. I won't get deep into it. But
He
yeah,
doesn't
go
know
ahead.
where that's at. It might be warm to him.
Go ahead.
Modern interest in the monster was sparked by a sighting on July 22nd of 1933 by George Spicer and his wife. They saw a most extraordinary form of an animal cross the road in front of their car. They described the creature as having a large body, about 4 foot high and about 25 feet long, with a long, wavy, narrow neck.
What?
4 feet high.
That sounds really bizarre.
Yeah, it's a
Could
different
you
kind of shape.
imagine? 25 feet long, 4 feet high.
Yeah. Now it's starting to sound like a Chinese dragon, like the ones that you know what I'm talking about, like they have in parades and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet that was it. Yep.
I don't think that was quite it.
It's a Chinese dragon.
They said that the neck looked about the thickness of an elephant's trunk, and it was as long as the road. It crossed the road all at one time, so it was about 10 to 12 feet in length, the neck. They didn't observe any limbs. It lurched its way across the road towards the lock, about 20 yards away, leaving a trail of broken undergrowth in its wake.
That's so cool.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
explain that one, Brandon.
They're lying, is what it is. I heard
Why
all
would
these
they
stories and
lie?
yeah.
I mean, what would be their reason to lie?
Publicity.
This isn't a thing yet. People don't know.
So, in other words, maybe they just were like visiting the lock and was like, well, that's an unusual little creature. We don't have this in, I don't know, land of people that we live in. And then, like, they ask the, what is it called? The water bounty dude.
Water bounty.
And they're like, nope, we don't have that either. And then it became famous.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You
Like,
got me.
it's possible.
Though Spicer was the first to describe the creature as a plesiosaur-like dinosaur, evidence suggested that by the researchers in Columbia University in 2013 that the sighting was fictionalized and inspired by the long-necked dinosaur that rises out of the lake in the movie King Kong.
Oh, damn.
That movie was in theaters and extremely popular in London during the time of the sighting.
Oh, okay. So they just think they made it up
Yeah, that's
to go along with the movie.
Yeah, that's their theory.
Okay,
upon it.
fine. Brandon gets one teeny tiny win.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
But it's small. I'm not giving you much more.
On November 12th, 1933, Hugh Gray was the first person to photograph the monster. Gray had taken his Labrador on a walk that day, and it's suspected that while he was on the walk with his dog, he had observed the creature, got his camera, and photographed it as quickly as he could.
So is this the photo right here?
Yes, that is the photo.
Okay, there's not much of it. I mean, if he sees it and then he pulls out his camera to take a picture, I
Right.
get why he's only gonna get part of it. You know, it's like Bigfoot. You can't fully take a good photo with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just a
It won't
blurry creature.
It won't stop for a
general.
selfie.
So
Can I ask?
Yeah.
I have one question,
yeah,
since you just kind of brought it up. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. That makes me
I
feel a
don't.
little bit better.
I don't.
I think, you know what, I think this actually looks a little bit like a whale tail.
Well,
Yeah.
That's what I think it looks
Yeah.
like.
Like at the bottom is kind of curved, but then again, if the creature is, you know, a dinosaur, like you guys say, or something like that, their body is going to be designed to be speedy. So I'm assuming they would have kind of like a tail-like structure like that.
So some people speculate that this photograph depicts his dog fetching a stick out of the lock.
What?
If you zoom in right, you can see a dog's head. And I've looked at this photo for about a half hour,
Maybe
and
right
I could
here.
not find it myself.
I don't know what they're talking about. I don't not see that at all.
Other people suggest that it could be an otter or a swan flipping around in the water.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of see like a
I don't
like
see an
maybe
otter
that's
at all.
water coming up, like splashing, and then this right here at the end is whatever's diving down. So it looks like a tail.
Potentially a swan,
Potentially.
but maybe a swan that's going to go for a dive. But definitely,
But
I don't
the fact
see that.
he took the photo and then claimed it was that's a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
If you,
The original negative was lost, however.
Conveniently?
In
I think
1963, Maurice Burton came into possession of a set of lantern slides, contact positives from the original negative.
Oh, okay.
When projected onto a screen, they revealed an otter rolling at the surface in characteristic fashion.
Oh.
So that's what this potentially is.
So
an
it's
otter.
definitely a fake.
Yes, in
100% a fake.
not a fake.
I mean, it is an actual photo, but like
So for anybody that was
he
able to
claimed it was something
identify
else,
it,
but it wasn't.
anyone who identified it without the negative as an otter, I'm impressed because that looks like a blob of whale tail to me, to be honest.
I can't see an otter. I can't see a dog's head. I can't see it. It
just
kind of looks like the film had gotten like grabbed when it was being developed, and it caused it to mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like that part right there. You know
Well,
what I mean?
no, I think I'm starting to understand. So over here, no, go that way. So the one spot right there, that looks like the head. So like,
Okay, I kind of
That's
see
the
like
head,
the
yeah.
mouth right there, the dark.
yeah, the nose, the head, that's probably the otter's head. And if you keep going further down, you probably have a little foot up there and then the tail.
Okay,
So that's, it takes,
sure.
I see
Sure.
it.
Ni-
It's just,
1933 photography was not.
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Sorry for anyone who's watching the pod or listening to the
don't-
podcast. So
Why didn't he have like a iPhone 10 to take those beautiful photos?
He was pretty close to getting
probably
one.
because he was smart enough not to get an iPhone because
That's
they
true.
suck.
I like Android better. Anyways,
How about that?
let's get back to Loch Ness.
All right. The next sighting was January 5th of 1934. A motorcyclist, Arthur Grant, claimed to have nearly hit the creature while approaching near the northeast end of the loch at about 1 in the morning.
Okay. 1 in the morning.
If
Yep.
it really is that big, I don't think he about hit it. I think it about hit him. Like on a motorcycle.
I mean,
like,
I
you
could-
get fucked.
If it's 25 foot long,
Yeah.
feet
you're
tall.
seeing that thing
Yeah,
That's
before you
true.
run into it, whether it's dark or not. It
Yeah.
was moonlit night, but
yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to block the road on a moonlit
yeah.
night. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grant stated that the animal had a small head attached to a long neck. The creature saw him and crossed back into the road quickly and then jumped back into the loch. He described the creature of being a cross between a seal and a plesiosaur. He dismounted on his bike. He followed the creature towards the loch, but when he had gotten to the water, he only observed the ripples.
I cannot believe he followed this creature. I'm just saying, like, if I saw a dinosaur for the first time in, like, my life,
I would run. I've
I'm
seen
not
too many Jurassic
100%.
Park. I don't fuck with that shit.
I'm not 100%. Well, no, I probably would chase it. I'm stupid enough to chase it. I guess I can't believe it would do it.
I mean, yes and no at the same time. Because, like, no, I'd be too afraid to fucking go after it. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to make sure I just saw what I just saw. Like, I need to get another look.
Got it. Yeah,
You know
I
what
could
I
see
mean?
that.
Otherwise, I need to go to the hospital for schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Seeing shit.
Grant produced a sketch of what the creature was from what he observed.
How old was this man?
I could not find his age.
I mean, that's better than what I could do, honestly.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
I mean, maybe that's exactly what he saw. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
It looks like a
I mean, it definitely
7-year-old
looks
drew
like-
a dinosaur.
It definitely looks like a seal mixed with a plesiosaurus. I mean, that's definitely exactly what that is.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
This sketch was then examined by zoologist Maurice Burton, who stated it was consistent with the appearance and behavior of an otter.
A 25-foot long otter?
It's a big otter.
That's a big otter.
The large size was suggested to be faulty observation due to poor lighting on Grant's end.
Okay.
I mean, 25 feet versus a 2-foot otter.
I'm just saying, in the middle of the night, in the dark.
Shadows, I guess, could make it seem bigger.
No.
You're talking about something the size of like my arm turning into something the size of the room.
True.
That's a little bit
That's
hard.
a big shadow.
It's a big shadow. Plus, I want to know how this otter got a long neck.
They stretched it. It got caught in the dam.
Got it.
In the
Okay.
lock.
Do you know what a lock is,
Yes,
Brandon?
yes. I don't know
Okay.
why I said lock. The dam. They got caught in the dam.
There is no dam. A lock is a lake
I know.
in Scotland.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
We're all proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
up
you.
that hard work. Paleontologist Darren Nash had suggested that Grant had seen either a seal or an otter and exaggerated the size of what he had seen over time.
So even a paleontologist was like, "Nah, this can't be a dinosaur."
Yeah, but I don't know. There wasn't much description. But judging from the photo, if you showed me this photo with no context and no wording underneath of it, I wouldn't say, "Yep, that's an otter."
That's a platypus.
A platypus? Like a duckbill
I
platypus.
guess it's just got that long tail, long flat tail.
I guess I could actually, of everything, I can see that the most.
It looks like a snake that just ate with arms. Okay, that's what it looks like.
Actually, you're not wrong. Like it just ate maybe like a snake that ate an otter.
Yeah,
It was an anaconda. Well, no, a python. A 25-foot python that just ate a bus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. A whole bus in 1934.
And grew flappy arms with legs.
Although
Three
I think
toes.
Gene might be onto something. But what if it really was like a large snake that ate like an otter?
Yeah, but it wouldn't explain the splashing and rolling around in the
Yes,
you
it
do know
does.
that anacondas swim.
right, but they don't swim away.
I'm sorry, have you ever seen an anaconda swim?
Yes.
When you were fighting that alligator?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So next we're going to talk about the other sighting in 1934 by Robert Kenneth Wilson. He was a London gynecologist. He submitted a photo to the Daily Mail depicting the creature's head and neck. Wilson had refused to have his name associated with this photograph, and he didn't want any relation to it whatsoever. So this photo is famously known as the surgeon's photograph.
Oh, really?
According
I thought
to,
he was a gynecologist.
It's just the name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's-
I'm just saying.
I didn't pick the
surgeon
name.
versus gynecologist.
They
A
do
little bit
surgeries.
different. A little bit different.
They do plenty of surgeries.
Yeah.
All right.
So he was stating that he was looking out at the lock when he observed the monster. He then grabbed his camera and snapped 4 quick exposures with it, with only 2 coming out clearly. The first one is the one that we can see. It shows the head and neck protruding out of the water.
Is that the shadow at the bottom?
Yes.
Yes.
That shadow doesn't make sense, but okay.
There's ripples. That's probably why.
it
It's
distorts the
distort
image.
the shadow.
Sure.
So
But
the
okay.
second one is a very similar picture of the same thing, except the head appeared to be diving down into the lock.
Gotcha.
The first
there.
photo had became a lot more publicly known and a lot more popular, probably due to the blurriness of the second photo. I couldn't find the second photo anywhere on the internet.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't understand what we're looking
yeah.
at with the...
Over the past 60 years, the photo was considered evidence of the monster's existence. Skeptics had tried to dismiss it as driftwood and an elephant trunk or another otter or a bird.
What?
Yeah.
Where are they getting otter with this?
Well, so if you go to the next image...
Like if an otter stuck their hand out of the water?
Maybe. But the photographic scale was also controversial. In this image, the image that was shown to all the people was the one on the left here. That was the cropped image.
Right.
That is very up close, zoomed in. The image on the right is the actual full-scale image of it. You can see on the very top, that's the other end of the lock.
Okay.
So that's how big the creature was that they had photographed.
To me, it does. You're right. It doesn't look like it's a very large creature.
It looks very small in that photo.
And I guess if it could be like an otter sticking his arm up out of the water, in theory. I mean, just from that little tiny, from the zoomed out photo.
Yeah.
Look, he's doing like a swan dive.
So
like a backstroke. That might be a hand.
In 1993, the makers of Discovery Communications documentary, Lochness Discovered, analyzed the uncropped version of the image and found a white object visible in every version of the photo, implying that it was on the negative.
Oh.
Gotcha.
It was believed to be caused by the ripples, as if that object was being towed by something through the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that could be being towed.
It could be. There's also theories that it can't be ruled out that there was a blemish on the negative itself.
That's true.
Analysis of the full photograph also indicated that the object's size was about 60 to 90 centimeters long instead of feet.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Big difference.
Yes. Way smaller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 3 times the size smaller. 4, 5, 6 feet smaller. So
let's hear this.
It kind of looks like a hand. I mean, if somebody was doing a backstroke, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like somebody swimming like this, and there's just one side. Somebody's just swimming across.
Oh, with their head underwater?
Yeah, yeah, and like that's their torso to the left.
So, since 1994, most people will now agree that this photo is an elaborate hoax. Multiple sources show the creature that was reported. It was a toy submarine built by Christian Sperling, the son-in-law of Marmaduke Wetherall.
I like that name. I'm not going to lie. That's a cool name.
Yeah. It's
Wetherall had been publicly ridiculed by his employer, the Daily Mail, after he, quote-unquote, found footprints of the Loch Ness Monster that turned out to be a hoax.
Got it.
To get revenge on the Daily Mail, Wetherall perpetrated his hoax with his co-conspirators, Sperling and Ian.
This is the gynecologist?
Wetherall. No.
Okay. The gynecologist just came along last.
I'll get into it.
You're going to get
touch
there.
to
Got
it. So his son, Ian Wetherall, had purchased the materials for the fake.
I wonder why they decided to make the fake one so small.
There was also an insurance agent that was in part of it that was friends with the gynecologist.
Okay.
So the toy submarine was purchased from F.W. Woolworth, and the head and neck were crafted from wood putty. After being tested at a couple local ponds, the group went to the loch where Ian took the photographs. and they were disturbed when a water bailiff started to approach. They sunk the model, and it's still presumed to be somewhere in the loch.
That'd be cool to find.
The insurance agent then gave the photographs to Wilson. Within a short period of time, Wilson had then had them developed and sent them to the Daily Mail to be published.
So the white blob could potentially be part of the sub.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm assuming the bailiff or whatever came out way after they took these photos, because I mean my thought to it is, how are they gonna sink it when like they're taking the picture and the bailiff is coming out?
Well,
they can't really go out and sink it.
It's a submarine type toy, so I assume that it has some type of a
Dive
like a
pull, rope or something to pull it under the water. So if you just stop pulling on it, I would assume it would start to carry its way down.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
They sunk the ship.
They sunk Nessy.
The monster.
The monster. Oh, God. I said it twice. That's 2 drinks. Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to 1938.
Okay.
May 29th. South African tourist G.E. Taylor filmed something in the loch for 3 minutes on 16 millimeter film. The film was then obtained by popular science writer Maurice Burton. He's had a lot of jobs.
Has he really?
I don't know, because he was also... Yeah, there was a few other times that I had mentioned him, and he was a zoologist and various other things.
Maybe he is like the guy to go to about Nessy.
Yes, that is.
Okay, so he's kind of like a Lochness Monster.
He's an expert.
Got it. Okay.
He did not show any other researchers or anybody this footage.
Okay.
A single frame of it was published in his book in 1961, The Elusive Monster. He analyzed and concluded that it was a floating object in the water and not an animal. Another in 1938, William Fraser, chief constable of Inverness Shire, wrote a letter that the monster existed beyond a doubt.
Wait, he just wrote it. It was like, I have made an official decision.
Yeah,
Nessy is living.
He had expressed concerns about a hunting party that arrived with some custom-made weapons and harpoon guns, determined to catch this creature dead or alive. And he believed that his power to protect the monster would be ineffective towards all of these hunters.
Okay.
So this is why he had made that letter, to try to get some help.
I personally think the monster was way smarter and could easily outrun these harpooners.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I mean, look at that fake submarine. It doesn't stand up to Nessy.
I wonder if it was yellow.
The submarine?
Little yellow submarine?
Oh my gosh. I bet it was.
The submarine.
In December of 1954, there were sonar readings taken by a fishing boat, the Rival 3. Its crew noticed a large object keeping pace with the vessel at a depth of about 146 meters. It was detected for 2,600 feet before contact was lost and regained. Previous sonar attempts were inconclusive or negative on trying to find anything in there.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
There was nothing that I could find that claimed that to be a hoax or anything like that.
Got it. Okay.
So
that one might actually be fairly accurate.
Yeah. In July 29th of 1955, Peter McNabb had taken a photograph at Ughart Castle.
Yukar Castle.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
I
we're
said
gonna
that
take
right.
a drink for that.
You know what? You said it better than what I ever would have said it. So, congrats.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a really interesting
This
thing in the water.
photo depicts 2 long black humps in the water. The photo was not made public until
Lady humps.
I don't know. I don't know.
My
That's a good question.
Hump.
my
My
lovely
lady
lady loves. Check it out.
Just saying. It could be it.
It very well might be. So this photo was not made public until it appeared in Constant White's book on the subject of the Loch Ness Monster.
Got it.
On October 23rd of 1958, it was published in the Weekly Scotsman. Author Ronald Benz wrote that the phenomenon which McNabb photographed could easily be the waves or an effect resulting from 3 trawlers traveling closely together in the loch.
Wait a minute. How?
The
Trawlers. Like,
it could be perceived as waves, and the dark spot could be the shadow under the wave.
I mean, I get that part, but
No.
I don't see that at all. Like,
I don't think
I don't either, especially since
there's
the
no
water's so calm
ripples. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
in
it's
the
like
photograph
really calm.
itself.
I mean, you would have to have like a boat there for me to believe it, and I just
Yeah, I think it might be like, I mean, definitely an animal. I mean, if it's not Nessy, it's definitely like
I
a
think it's
mother,
something.
father, and then a baby, behind it,
Well,
just following. You know what I mean?
so
Yeah.
others consider the photograph to be a hoax as well. Roy McCall suggested
It's a really bad hoax.
he
Like they
requested.
could have done better. Sorry,
It's okay.
they could have done a better hoax. I'm just saying, if it was a hoax.
He requested to use the photograph in his 1976 book. He received the original negative from McNabb, but discovered that the photo differed in the negative and what had appeared in White's book years earlier. The bottom tree in the left
right.
was missing, and this is the photo that has it missing.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't find the one with the tree.
Okay, so there was got it. So they cropped out a tree.
So that'd be
Well,
like a shadow.
It's suspected that the photo was doctored by rephotographing the print.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So that could potentially
To
be
try to
like
make
a
it look
branch or
bigger
something.
or-
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it's theorized to be a hoax as well.
Okay.
What do you think, Shelley? You think that's a?
I mean, since I now know that there's a whole tree missing, and I know that they were really good at doctoring photos back in the day. I mean, they would make it look like you had your dead relatives behind you in like some photos.
It's because they just stand them up there. for
Right.
you.
No, they did not. I would say that's probably, he's right. Probably a tree branch that
Yeah.
is like overexposed onto another picture. So
Yeah. So in 1960, Tim Dinsdale filmed a hump that left a wake crossing Loch Ness. Dinsdale reportedly had the sighting on the final day of his research mission and described the hump as a reddish color with a blotch on the side.
Interesting.
He said that when he mounted his camera, the object began to move. He shot 40 feet of film. Others were skeptical, saying that the hump could have been ruled out as a boat, especially when the contrast of the film was turned up. You could see a man standing on the boat.
oh my gosh.
That's funny.
So I really wish I could have found these films because I feel that the visual aid would have been excellent to see them.
Yeah.
But I could not find these films, and I really wish I could.
I think that's kind of funny that you just change the contrast and you end up with a little dude driving a boat. He's just like, hey, look at me, I'm a monster. Woo! Sorry, I forgot that's the word, honestly.
Yeah, you did. You messed
I do
up.
that a lot. I've made Jean move on to another drink. Sorry.
Are you proud of yourself?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. In 1977, Anthony Shields was camping and had photographed some of the clearest pictures of the monster.
Really?
Oh man,
I'm actually really, really excited about this. I can't wait to see. Oh my God. I love it.
All right.
There's probably some way that this is a hoax, but I still love him.
Well, Shields, a magician and psychic, claimed to have summoned the animal out of the water.
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to think this is a puppet.
okay.
It's like Jim Henson's. Is it Jim Henson? Is that how you say his name? The puppet guy. You know,
I don't know
Kermit
what
the
you're
Frog.
It's Chris Hansen.
No, it's not.
He summons other things.
Okay. Anyways, this is like Kermit the Frog. Go on.
He later described the animal as an elephant squid, claiming that the long neck shown in the photographs was actually the squid's trunk, and the white spot on the base of its neck
I see it.
is its eye.
Really?
No.
That's interesting.
No.
Well-
I can't imagine. Is it a real life thing, an elephant squid?
I don't know.
I
I didn't research into elephant squids.
I'm going to
Why
look
don't you
to
do
see
that?
if it's an
Okay,
actual
then
real
what
one.
are the other two white things right next to it? The eye.
More eyes.
So it's got 3 sets of eyes.
It's like
I don't know.
It's like a fly that has multiple eyes.
Yeah. So it'd be like an anteater, like a water anteater. You know what I mean?
I mean, to be
Like
honest,
with the
when I
trunk
first
and
saw
all.
this picture, I thought it was Godzilla. I thought we were all in trouble. But
I think
But
it's
if it's
cute.
only 4 feet tall,
Oh,
25 feet long, we're
Okay.
good.
is an elephant squid a thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right.
There's
well,
a Dumbo squid,
No.
like
that's-
Dumbo the elephant squid.
Oh, because it's got the big flaps.
It does. It has like the
Yeah.
floppy
Yeah.
ear things,
Yeah.
but I don't see anything else that's like
uh,
remotely close.
So, with this photo, due to the lack of ripples, it was presumed to be a hoax by multiple people and received the name the Loch Ness Muppet due to its staged look.
So
I
I wasn't
mean-
far off by the Muppets.
Yeah. So,
Kermit.
so there's nothing other than that I could find other than there not being ripples in the water that describes this as a hoax.
I mean,
There's literally no ripples.
you're
Like,
right. There's
zero.
nothing.
So that's
There's like nothing
interesting.
around the neck.
Yeah.
to
and you
show
look
that
at you
it's
look at it.
coming out.
There's waves all over. So there's definitely current for sure. So there's no current.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It'd be on like the front left of that.
I'm sorry, but that white thing is not an eyeball.
I don't think so either.
I'm wondering if that's where like he like imposed a picture onto. You know what I mean? Like where he tried to pose another picture onto another picture.
Maybe. Or
And-
maybe Nessy has a necklace.
Oh.
All right. So in May of 2007, a laboratory technician, Gordon Holmes. Yep.
Helms.
take another drink here.
Oh man.
Is it Holmes or Helms?
Is it
Holmes?
Holmes.
Like Sherlock, videotaped what he said was to be a jet black thing about 14 meters long, moving fairly fast through the water. Adrian Shine, a marine biologist at the Loch Ness 2000 Center, described the footage as among the best footage he had ever seen. BBC Scotland's broadcast of this video had aired on May 29th of 2007.
Why do I not even remember this?
Shine was also interviewed and suggested that the footage was an otter, a seal, or a water bird.
Why
There's
do they
just
always
a water
come up with
bird
that?
hanging out underwater? Like,
I don't know what water birds do. Water bird stuff.
That's what they come up with last time: seal, otter, and a water bird.
Yeah, I don't quite know.
They keep coming up with those.
It is kind of weird that they do, but I mean, apparently a lot of otters live in the loch.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe they do, but
I don't know. Never been there.
me either. I have a goal to go to Scotland one day. So,
Would you like to go,
Fucking
Brandon?
hell no.
why would you not want to go to Scotland?
Why would I go to Scotland?
Well,
To look
I
for
want.
Nessie?
Hell no.
I would
Oh
want
yeah,
to.
water. I forgot.
Water.
I have like my family tree comes from part of it comes from Scotland.
Gotcha. Okay. I
From
mean,
the-
that's fair. I'm not going to go deep sea diving for fucking Nessy. I'm not even going to go on that lock.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just curious to go see Scotland because we're related to the King James III from Scotland.
King James the Third.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's my bastard great grandfather.
How many greats was that?
I don't know idea.
It's
Too
about
many.
6.
I have so many.
Okay. That
Yeah.
was more like 8.
I don't know. I'm his bastard grandchild. Whatever. Don't matter. We're the product of affairs. So,
It do be like that sometimes.
I mean, it is what it is.
August 24th of 2011, Loch Ness boat captain Marcus Atkinson photographed a sonar image of a 1.5 meter wide, unidentified object that seemed to be following his boat for 2 minutes at a depth of about 23 meters.
That'd be so scary.
That actually would freak me out quite a bit.
This was ruled out of being the possibility of a small fish or a seal, but in 2012,
They decided it was an otter.
a scientist
Or a
from
water
the
bird.
National Oceanography Center,
I like that.
was
That was-
a word and a half,
Yeah. No, they're definitely going to say it's a water bird.
suggested that it was a bloom of algae and zooplankton.
See, it's moments like this.
How can sonar pick up?
Do you know what sonar is?
Yeah.
Sonar is
It
what?
bounces.
It's
yeah.
sound waves
Yeah,
that
it
bounces
bounces
off of objects and comes back.
but
And
I feel
depending
like
on this-
plankton, I don't think it would bounce off plankton.
Do you know what zooplankton is?
Yes. There's microscopic things that whales eat. That are like bottom feeders. They feed off algae.
I just feel like at this point that they're just making excuses so that they don't have to say Loch Ness Monster is real.
I mean, that could be a theory. That could be a very good theory. It could also be a theory that Brandon's right. Or it could be a mix of both.
Could be the Loch Ness Monster eating zooplankton.
You know?
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
Not with that.
I'm going
mouth,
with that.
No.
Why? That's the same shape and style of mouth
Of a whale.
of a whale.
But a whale's mouth is a lot bigger. And it's spent less time on this planet.
Whales are a lot bigger.
Technically.
What do you mean it's spent a lot less time on this planet? How old are whales?
A lot.
All right.
Okay. That was the scientific facts from Brandon.
Yep. Did you know that? Well, now you know. Compared to whales have been on this planet a lot.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you
Yep.
for facts.
All right. I'll be coming back to you for more scientific evidence here in a little bit.
All right, cool.
August 3rd of 2012, skipper Edward Jones claimed to photograph the
A
creature
fucking
again.
log.
I actually agree with you.
That's a turd in the bathtub.
Edward claimed.
I mean, that's like it's got a point to it, so it's like
Oh dear. Edward
Just
claims
adding
to have searched for this monster for 26 years and reportedly spent 60 hours a week on the loch aboard his boat, the Nessy Hunter 4, taking tourists for rides throughout the loch. Edward said, "In my opinion, it probably looks like a manatee, but not a mammal."
I love manatees. They're my favorite animal in the entire world.
Yeah.
And that does not look anything like a manatee. That looks like a turd in a bathtub. Brandon's right.
You know, I mean, the more I look at this photograph, I can start to see that.
I mean, maybe it's like...
Is he claiming this is Loch Ness? This is
the
Nessy?
monster?
Yeah.
Yes.
I call bullshit.
Well,
because here's the thing. He's a tourist guide. You never trust a tourist guide. He wants to sell his shit. If you know that this dude has found Nessy and has photographed it, you're going to want to go in his boat versus anybody else's.
I mean, that's also
I mean?
true, but for 26 years he had done this and they had not seen the monster until now.
He probably got fed up and was like, fuck it, take a shit in the bathtub, we'll post it.
But to me, it almost looks like one side of it is flat. And like you said, it's almost it's got sharp angles. So what kind of animal has that?
So in Edward's words, when people see three humps, they're probably seeing three separate monsters. He's describing them as a bit smaller and as traveling as a family or a herd or whatever you would call it.
Okay.
Other researchers questioned the photo's authenticity, and the Loch Ness researcher Steve Feltham suggested that the...
What'd he do?
He was waiting for something. He felt him.
He felt him. Okay.
Got it.
He suggested that the object in the water was a fiberglass hump used in the National Geographic Channel's documentary when Edwards had participated in it.
So he's frauding.
Yeah,
that's
that's their speculation. And then researcher Dick Rayner had questioned Edwards' claims of discovering a deeper portion of the loch. Rayner called this Edwards Deep because he had found inconsistencies between Edwards' claims for the location of the deeper location.
So what did he call it?
The
Edwards Deep?
The researcher called it Edwards Deep.
Why didn't he call it Dick Deep?
Because he didn't find it.
Yeah, the researcher's name was Dick Rayner.
Yeah.
Dick. I thought it was Dick Edwards. My bad. Yeah.
No.
We're going to skip over that.
Yeah, that was George Edwards. George.
Gotcha.
Jorge. George.
Okay.
He had found inconsistencies with Edwards' claims about the location and the conditions of the photograph. With the actual location and the weather conditions on the day. According to Rayner, Edwards told him previously that he had faked a photograph in 1986 that he had claimed was a genuine photograph on the National Geographic documentary. And then later on in 2013, Edwards had admitted that the 2011 photograph was a hoax.
Interesting.
Actually, if you look, it looks like there's ripples going towards this, but nothing ever hits it. You see what I'm saying? You see how there's sort of a waves heading towards it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
a boat?
Yeah,
boat
but there's
waves?
no I see Jean's daughter right now.
That
She's
is
adorable.
not my daughter.
Wow.
Or your daughter. Sorry.
Wow. Anyways.
Brandon's daughter.
Anyway, so we got... She don't even know my daughter.
I do.
Yeah, so
see
it
her
does
weekly.
kind of have boat kind of ripples, waves.
That's what I mean.
I can see the waves past it though.
That's what I mean, but there's nothing they're not breaking when they hit it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
there's
just
nothing
Yeah,
It's
but what does that mean scientifically, Brandon?
So that means that it's not stationary. So if it's stationary, you'll see ripples around it. If it's going with the waves, if it's going that way, you may be seeing the backside of the hump. So that's kind of going towards the neck if it is the monster. So if it's going towards the waves at the same amount of speed as the waves are going through the passing through, it's not going to create ripple effects.
That's the smartest pile of bullshit I've ever heard you say in my life.
And that's what I was thinking. What I was pointing out is more than likely he just plopped that little object into the picture with some Photoshop. Yes, with some Photoshop, because there's nothing breaking those waves. It's not breaking the waves and rippling out.
Right.
Yeah.
You just plopped it on.
plopped it on that picture.
All right.
All right.
Like the turd it is.
It may be. August 23rd, 2013, tourist David Elder presented a 5-minute video of a mysterious wave in the loch. According to Elder, the wave was produced by a 4.5-meter solid black object just under the water's surface. Elder was there photographing swans.
I knew it was a water bird.
No. He was there to photograph swans.
Got it.
At Fort Augustus Pier on the southwestern side of the loch. This is when he had captured that movement. He stated that the water was very still at the whole time he was there, with no ripples coming off, no waves or anything like that. Skeptics suggest that the water waves were caused by wind gusts.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the video again. I wish I could have. But describing that, if everything's plain and I'm taking photographs of these animals who are here, and then I see that and the water's calm,
Right.
I don't think that it's just the wind causing a few waves.
I would agree.
If there is wind, yes, it can cause waves, but not in just one location.
Like it would be every...
I would
all
assume.
over, yeah. Because usually if I'm at a lake, it's all choppy. It's not just
Yeah.
one section of choppiness.
Yeah,
typically.
no, that's weird. Especially if it's a windy day.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be choppy.
So now we're going to go to one of my favorite images. In April 19th of 2014, a report was filed that the satellite image on Apple Maps showed the appearance of a large creature just below the surface of Loch Ness. A Loch Ness...
What do you think it is, Brandon?
No.
A fucking otter?
Okay, so which way do you think the head is? If
It's going
Ness-
down.
It's going down.
Right, so it's going to be a large head, right?
Potentially.
Similar to
whale.
similar to like a shark.
Similar to a whale.
To me, it looks
that
like a
looks
shark.
like a shark type of creature.
To me, that's what it looks like to me as a shark.
Yeah, but if you try to like measure it up with the land versus
It's huge.
that,
It's absolutely
freaking
huge.
It's
huge.
yeah.
There's
Look
a
at that
house.
house.
Those are boats.
Look at the
and
house
that's
in the
houses.
bottom right.
Well,
It's like
is that a house?
twice
I thought it was
a
a
house.
driveway too.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's
That's a
bigger than
house.
both of those.
Yeah, it is.
So
bigger.
it's massive, and the only thing I could really think of is
Megalodon.
yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
honestly, I mean,
So in the image, it appears to be people measured. It's about 30 meters long.
like
Uh,
how long is a bus? Why didn't you look this up?
Way bigger than 30 or way smaller than 30 meters.
I think it's like 10. I don't know how much is 10.
10 meters would be about 30 feet.
It's what about a bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
look
you're-
that up because I know that's what they use to measure like everything.
bus is about 12 meters long, so it would be
Okay,
almost
three buses.
Buses, two and a half.
Okay.
pretty much.
Freaking massive.
It is. That is huge. So that people were trying to give possible explanations for were the wake of a boat, with the boat
What
itself being in
boats?
the image. There's one boat very far down, but there's no way. I don't see that any of that would be a wake.
that would
Look how
be the
far away it
craziest
is.
wake I've ever seen.
Oh, like bottom right.
Yeah,
Like those
that's the
boats?
only boats that I see in this whole image.
Has anything like sunk in that area before?
It does
Like-
kind of look like a big pirate ship.
I mean, not that I had researched, not that I had seen.
Okay.
Another possible explanation could be that the could have been a boat that was lost itself with image stitching
Yeah.
due to low contrast. But I mean, that's
It's the
also
size.
kind of
It's the
arguable that
size.
it's not accurate either, because Apple and Google, when they make their maps, they make them very, very well. I mean,
Right.
they're very well put together. So,
Yeah.
and then that can be argued that that's not true. Another explanation, you guys are gonna love it. Seals cause the ripples.
Or a water bird. I mean, that could have been a water bird too.
What kind of otter? What kind of water bird? A fucking pterodactyl?
So I wish I had the coordinates, honestly. I wish I had the coordinates so I can look it up right now and see if it's there.
This was in 2014. It was updated.
I got it.
Right.
This is what happened.
That's what my thing is. Like, I wish it was still like. I wish we could have the coordinates to look. If it was still there.
We could probably track that down. I mean, the lock's only so big.
Okay. I know what it is. It is a water bird attacking an otter on the back of a seal.
That's Nessy.
Done.
That's Nessy.
I've solved it.
That's Nessy.
It's good. We're good.
That explains the long neck
Yep. A swan.
on top of the seal,
Yep.
and then the ripples were the otter.
Yep.
Dude.
Or the other statement could be it is a floating piece of wood. But again, comparing it to the size of the trees on the shore, that's about 6 trees put together.
I was gonna say, is it a forest floating?
I don't know.
Dude, I don't know.
So the last sighting that was reported that I had seen was in September of 2021. It was another live stream video of a drone flying over the loch. This reported to see a 20-foot creature. It was captured on the live stream of the drone at the time that it was swimming.
Oh.
This picture, though, I can see being a piece of wood. I can see that
like
being
right
a tree.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could too, because it's close enough to the shoreline that it could have drifted in.
Or maybe like a sunken couple kayaks or something, because look at all the kayaks sitting along the side of the
and if you
shore.
try to compare the last photo to this photo,
It's very different.
It's very
the size so different.
I will 100% tell you that had to have been some type of an animal in that last
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
But this photo, there's arguments that can be made.
Kayaks are what, 10 to 12 feet long, and reports said it was 25 feet long. 20 feet long. That's still like.
I think it's just a tree that fell in and drifted in.
I think it's some type of an object that is in the water.
'Cause I feel
do not
like-
think it's an animal.
I feel like that little root right there.
If we go back, the image that was taken 7 years before that, if that creature that size came up to that shore, it has to be tall as well. I mean, you can't be that wide without being somewhat tall. It would be out of the water if it was that close to the shore.
Yeah, I would agree.
And the other thing I'm looking at is like, because I'm a scientist and I do have the
Got a
skills
PhD
to
in
diagnose different skeptical
Yeah, you tell
photos. Anyways, so it's just the depth that this thing is at.
How deep
with
is
that
it right
photo?
now?
It's probably a good, it is a very like light blue. So it's got to be
it's a lot, right?
It's got to be between like 2 to 10 feet deep, right? So
Okay.
if it's that deep and that huge, it's going to create a massive, massive ripple. If it's that
This
big.
is all in your own hypothetical.
But then again,
non-scientific.
Then again, if
mumbo
those
jumbo.
boats are stationary, you're not going to see a ripple. I mean, honestly, if they're moving, you're not going to see a ripple.
Not from that.
Not from satellite. No.
That's what I'm saying. But if you go back and look at other various like monster photos, you will see like kind of like a path of a ripple. You know what I mean?
Well, you can also see, and I don't know if it's just blurred from the way that circle's drawn on the image.
And maybe.
Probably, yeah.
I'm assuming, but I mean, around it you can see that, but it's probably the effect of having it drawn on.
Just the fact that it looks like it has two little fin flippers off to the side.
The other thing that you could argue is that it's actually going the other way. The wide section is its tail, and it's bringing its flippers up to come back around.
Okay, I see. I could see that.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
I could see that.
I do see that, but at the same time, because like at the bottom, you see it's kind of like separated. It
like
almost
it's
looks like
arching
feet.
up.
It almost looks like feet that are like tucked in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it was a plesiosaur-like creature, that would fit it more. Otherwise, it's some type of a shark type of creature if it's coming the other direction.
Because of the fins. Yeah.
Is there any chance that somebody at Apple just decided to fuck with everybody on the planet?
That is
very true because they did put a joke in one of their the agreements that they go through. They put a joke in there about some type of harvesting organs or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a joke.
Oh, I do kind of remember this.
It was just they put it in there to see how many people would agree, and everybody still agreed because nobody read terms and conditions of anything, and it was a complete joke. But you never know. So when Apple knocks on your door and says, "Hey, we need your liver," well, you signed a paper.
Well, good thing I've never had an Apple phone. They can never take my liver. At least anytime soon. So no Apple products over in this land.
Damn. So that's interesting. So, I mean, as of right now,
those are all the sightings that I could find. Those are all the sightings that have ever been documented that I have looked for on the internet. There are other things to discover about the Loch Ness Monster. There have been giant explorations for Nessy that still continue on currently.
Right.
But nobody's ever found it in fucking, 500 years? Like 200. But
excuse me?
Brandon,
600 AD.
600 AD. That's
so nobody's
century.
ever been able to find it since then.
In 1400 years.
Nobody has ever been able to find it. That's cool.
I mean...
Yeah, no.
Nobody has been able to officially say, here it is, here's a black and white perfect photo.
But, I mean, I can't rule out that it doesn't exist because look how often they're finding stuff that they claimed was extinct or dead or, like, whatever.
That's not even in the ocean. Even on land, they're still finding animals where they're like, oh, well, I thought this animal was extinct. Or plants.
Yeah.
There's hundreds and thousands of things being discovered every day. There's no way you can't say that there's a possibility that there is some type of gigantic creature living in the loch.
But here's the thing. If it's a plesiosaurus, like we claim it to be, it's not going to have gills. Okay?
Okay.
So it's got to come up.
Okay.
Multiple times per day. It's got to come up.
Correct.
I mean, what more can you say? Like, either it's no longer in this lake, like the ocean theory. If the Loch Ness is still connected to the ocean, it could escape out into the ocean and then come back and go.
And that could be why
there's no longer sightings.
That could be why there were slight sightings, is because it would come up to surface to breathe. I've never done the research on how long plesiosaurs can hold their breath underwater. I know whales can hold their breath an extremely long amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
I mean, it could also, I'm just throwing this theory out. It seems like more people saw it on land at night. So is it possible that to adapt to our humanness, like maybe they come out at night?
Well,
but my thing is, if they're trying to adapt to that, then that means there has been reports of like actual like
plesiosaurs
encounters.
Ancestors were land creatures.
Oh.
So, I mean, it needed to surface for oxygen. So there's no reason to argue that it couldn't come out of water to, sunbathe or some type of a thing, or to look for food. Maybe it wasn't strictly an animal that eats food out of the water.
Can we just agree on one thing?
What's that?
That the Loch Ness Nessy is actually Lapras from Pokemon.
I'll agree with that
I can
100%.
get down with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, cool.
I won't even argue with you on this one. I will 100% agree.
Cool.
There you go.
But
All right. Well,
trying to,
that's interesting. That's I don't believe it still, but
Looking at a plesiosaurus.
I mean, out of all these photos and out of everything, this is the only photo that is
looking at a plesiosaurus facing towards the top. You could tell me that looks very similar to that.
I can, yeah.
The other direction.
Yeah, but that's no 25 feet long.
Plesiosaurs weren't 25 feet long. They were
I know,
40,
but like reports and everything.
Correct?
If they were not
trying
hoaxes.
to figure it out.
Plesiosaurus would be like, let me do my math. It's like 75 to 100 feet long.
You want to run that by me again?
Plesiosaurus is 75 to 100 feet long.
I don't agree with that. I believe it was more around the range of 40.
No.
I
You can't find it. Gene, Google it up.
I can, but I can't believe that this is what it is. It says it basically 9.4 to 11.5 feet, only weighing 408 pounds.
Oh, yeah, they were smaller than the other one.
Yeah.
They're not 4 feet long.
I didn't say 4 feet, 9.4.
Oh, 9.4 feet. That's
and
very,
11.5,
very
yeah.
small.
I'm not sure what other one it would be.
I was thinking of.
Oh,
Mosasaurus.
Yeah. But that's not...
They're about 56 feet long.
Okay.
So, and if you look at the shape...
It would be very similar.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the long neck.
It doesn't.
That is very distinctive.
It doesn't have the long neck, but in this image that we're looking at...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
If the
lot pointier.
If the Lochness Monster was more similar to a whale, it would make more sense that we wouldn't see it as much because you're just bringing a blowhole up to the top, breathing in your oxygen, going back under.
And that could be why people only videoed or photographed like the hump coming out of the water or something of that type of nature.
Or if they saw like a fin pop up or something. That makes sense. That would make more sense than everyone trying to say it's a plesiosaur or whatever it's called.
But after watching all of this and going through all of this, Brandon, are you still willing to deny that there's not some type of large creature in Loch Ness?
I believe there's large creatures in deep water, yeah. I will agree with that. However, these photos, I don't know. I can't validate them.
I was going to say the only one that I feel like has some significance is the Apple one, the satellite image. But then again, wouldn't put it past an Apple employee not to be just...
Yeah.
Hey, everyone's got to have fun sometimes.
That's my point.
That's true. All right. Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, check out our other ones at A Beer, Crime, and Tale, literally on any platform. Check out our Facebook if you haven't already. We post updates and newest episodes.
And check out our Instagram and our YouTube and our TikTok and our... What else do we have?
Yeah, everything. So...
we got everything.
So on Facebook, we do have our link tree posted. You can check out our socials.
We don't have an X account.
We don't have an X account?
No.
What is an X account?
Twitter. It's formerly known as Twitter. Come on now. It's X.
So
get with the program, millennial.
We're gonna post clips to TikTok quite a bit, and you could reach that at BCT Podcast. Be aware there is another BCT podcast out there on TikTok.
Don't click on the one with the underscore if you're looking for us. The one without the underscore is us.
Yes. So the one with the underscore is funny because it's a church podcast, and they talk about God, and then we definitely
do not talk about God.
So the funny thing is, they're gonna try to have people look up BCT podcast, and then they're gonna get us. It's gonna be completely different. And
wow,
yeah. So sorry, not sorry.
For anyone who's wondering about the whole state thing, I am doing the state one next week. So.
Cool.
And it's gonna be Maine, and you guys are gonna love this one. It's very creepy. This guy's weird.
Cool.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Stay ghouly.
Stay ghouly. Goodbye.
Stay ghouly.